So I'm joined by St Paul's captain Niall McCorry, and Niall, you're leading your team out to the championship final now next Sunday. So how big of an honour is it for you?
Sean, without a doubt, it's a huge honour, representing your club, and it's always been something we've dreamed of as we lads, being captain of the senior team, and this is our second final now in 3 years, and hopefully this time we'll go over the line, Sean.
Yeah, like both teams coming into this one, you were in 2020, Shane O'Neill's in 2019, you have both been in finals and lost finals in recent years.
Yeah, it's without a doubt that we've both been competing with one another the last few years, and we are both good rivals. We do clash quite a lot in the league this year. You've seen we've went to the wire with them, and we've met in the championship the last few times over the last 2 years. So hopefully this time we get over the line.
And then the championship has been so tight for you this year. You beat Granemore by a point. Tone took his extra time, 2 points here against Tullysarn. It's been a real roller coaster for you.
Sean, I think that just shows our mentality too as a team. With no day attitude kind of thing. We'll go right to the wire, no matter how bad the results are. You've seen there in the second final against Tullysarn, we were 7 down at one point, I think it was, and we played it the whole way back. It's been like that most of the year. I have to say Shane's brought that into us. This never give up mentality and just always work our socks off, and we always go to training. Everyone always puts 100% effort in and gives everything they have.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Shane. It's worth mentioning. He was with you the last time he's won the championship, so he's probably renowned as one of the best club managers in Armagh. So give us an insight. What's he like in the changing room?
Without doubt, in my opinion, Shane's the best there is around. It's just the way he speaks and gets everyone up for every game. It's just his mentality and his attitude towards the game gets everyone going. It's a good honour working under him as well. I didn't get working under Shane last time as I was too young, but this time around you can see why everyone talks about him.
And probably now you're still young enough to be captain of the team, but I suppose there's leaders all over the field. There's like the two notches, you have Mernon, McGee. There's so many leaders across the team.
Without a doubt, that's everyone. I'm named captain, but there's leaders in that pitch from 1 to 15. Even on the bench, some of the players who are sitting at the sideline there, they're screaming on. They're getting the lads and training and fair play to them, because I know it could be hard sometimes. Maybe not getting played, but them lads stick with us or motivate us the whole way during the season. And whenever they do, our subs this year coming on have made a great impact, I think, in my opinion.
I'm thinking of the likes of Declan Fox that has come on, Aaron Rodgers, or Darren Fox, sorry. I think he's of 16 different scores in the championship, which is the biggest, I think, across all championships. So is there a threat from everywhere, really?
Yeah, well, I think we've scores from everywhere, even in the back line there. You've cornerbacks, half-backs, can all get up the field and score points. I think the scoring this year, as you can see, it's been spread out all over the pitch. And even off the bench there too, they're coming on scoring 2-3 points a game. And it's making a huge difference there towards the end of the games. When the legs are starting to get tired, you can bring them lads in and freshen the whole thing up.
And then just before I let you go, playing along the likes of Andrew Mernon, and we commented the last day in the podcast, the goal against Tullysarn came because the two Tullysarn defenders went for Andrew and the ball just went over his head and Sean Tobin was in the back. So Andrew, he can play anywhere for you. He's such a key player for you.
That's the threat he brings. If he's in the edge of the square there, sometimes you talk about doubling up. Then if you do that, then you've players further out on the pitch. As you say, every 16 scores, we can all shoot from well out the pitch. Also, if it comes to it, you can bring him out and play him around midfield. And he's a great asset to have. I think any team in the county, or country even, would love to have him on their team.
Brilliant, thanks for coming on.
No worries, Sean.
So I'm joined by Padraic Hillen from Shane O'Neill's. He's the captain of the team heading into Sunday's intermediate final. Padraic, thanks for coming on, and I suppose just to start, you have probably done it the hard way. I was talking to Niall there, they've done it pretty hard as well, a couple of tight games, but you've seen up St Peters and Cullabille, who would have been two big challenges.
Yeah, they would indeed, but even looking at the league this year, we don't really do things too easy. We're sort of one of them teams that, when it comes to games, don't necessarily win games big, but I feel like in most games we're sort of playing well, controlling games, but it is what it is, and the way we're playing at the minute, the way sort of league company and brought into where we are now, I think we're in a good position.
And the league, obviously, you spoke about it.
Yeah.
Winning the league is such a big thing for you, and it got you promoted. You are a senior team next year, but I'm sure you want to go out.
It's good to have senior status for coming in the championship. Obviously, I think the league as well, people don't give it as much sort of credit as it deserves at times. You're coming in, I think three wins in the trot, and then we had a bit of a rough patch, and I was, obviously taking away the county boys from the team as well. So it's good to lay them foundations, and whenever them boys come back in, they obviously add a wee bit more to the team instead of, you're playing off good form, that sort of thing.
And the league, it's a great momentum builder as well. And you have played St Paul's twice this year already, so you sort of know what to expect with it.
Yeah, that's it. We played them twice. It's one apiece. I would say though the game, sort of we played them at home, didn't matter as much as the other one. So the league was already over by that stage. But it'll be good game. There's plenty of quality in the team, as we already know. County boys themselves, so it'll be an interesting game.
And just on your county boys, you went through the league for the majority without them. Saw off the league without Connor. He was in America, obviously, Connor Mackin. But then 3 boys coming in, we know Connor and Greg with Armagh, but Kieran, obviously, this year, it was his breakthrough season, so 3 massive players for you.
Yeah, three massive players, but as we were saying, it was good having county players, but we need to lay the foundations for playing well before they come in, as a credit to 2 managers as well, from the very start to set the standards and the way we want to play, and the lads sort of came in and been more adding to the team that's already winning. It's a good addition in that sense, yeah.
And you said the firepower as well, it's worth talking about. The goal, we talked about it the last time, it's worth talking about again, I suppose.
Yeah, the goal, I think if it didn't go in, there would be plenty of questions asked at half time, but Padraic has that quality in him, and you can see from the championship final there a couple of years back. I know we didn't win it, unfortunately, but you can see what he can do in big games, and hopefully he can do it for us in a couple of weeks' time.
And just speaking to Niall as well, I touched on they lost in 2020, you lost in 2019. You're both coming in sort of carrying that hurt from the past few years.
Both of us are, but unfortunately when it comes to any years, 2 trophies can be won. So we've got the league under us, and coming in the championship, everyone wants to win a championship, but them sort of things you need to learn from, and it's been 3 years, 2019, wasn't it? So games that got there, I felt like we've pushed on, we've learned from that sort of thing, and coming into this game, hopefully we can just get over the line. I'm sure he's saying the same,
Padraic, it promises to be a really good final. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
So I'm joined by Jason O'Neill, Granemore's joint captain, and he's going to tell me what it was like to lead Granemore into their first ever senior championship final. Jason, how did it feel getting over to Levy and knowing that you had created history?
Yeah, look, it was a big achievement for the club. Just in terms of the players ourselves, I was just very proud of all the boys, the effort that they put in all year, and to come out on the right side of the result was great. Because players were just lucky enough to be the ones that are there at the minute representing the club. I think we've seen at the final whistle the emotion of young and old coming onto the pitch after the game. As I said, players were just the lucky ones that are passing through at the minute, and have that honour of wearing the jersey at the minute. But there's a lot of people that have worked before us and soldiered through the years, and a lot of people coming behind us that will take the jersey after us. So it's a bit of history, and it's great for the club. Not just the footballers, obviously the Camogues are in the championship final next weekend as well. So there's great buzz around the community and around the club. But as players now, we'll just try and knuckle down and focus as best we can over the next 2 weeks.
I suppose that's the important thing, because it is great creating history and all, but you still have a match to play, I suppose.
Well, look, I'm sort of around long enough now that you understand you have to appreciate and enjoy these times as well, but at the same time you want to try and, I suppose, you want to treat it as any other game. Obviously we know massive challenge ahead, Crossmaglen waiting in the final. They've been great ambassadors for Armagh football over the years. But look, if you want to be the top, you have to try and compete and beat the top teams. We're just grateful to be in the final. Hopefully now we can knuckle down. As I said, as players, we'll knuckle down. Our management have put in a lot of effort over the last year or so and focused us in on every game. So yeah, look, we'll hopefully try and get away from all the hype, knuckle down, prepare ourselves as best as we can, and just give a good account of ourselves.
And how big of an impact has the management made? Because I think he's had a bad start to the year, maybe lost 5 or 6 on the trot, but now he's peaking at the right time of the year, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like peaking at the right time. Like I think, look, any new management coming in, it takes a bedding in time. Like, and they have to get to know us, we have to get to know them. But no, in all fairness, like I think at the start of the year, obviously it wasn't a great start to the year, but we did have a lot of injuries. And look, that just come good sort of halfway through the year. Results started going our way. But no, the management, as I go back to the management, they have just the preparation that has been going into every game, like, and taking nothing for granted, and every training session, the work that has been put in all year, and look, not just from the players, from the management, but from the committee and everything that has been going in. It's been great to see it. And look, there's a lot of young boys coming through, like, the managers this year, so we're reaping the rewards of the work that has been done over the years. Like, I was chatting to our managers that had us previously the last 3 years. A lot of those young boys come through under their tutelage, like, we're seeing them flourish now. So look, it's just, the management have put in a lot of effort, and we're very grateful for the effort that they're continuing to put in, and hopefully we can reward everybody, the management and the community and the committee, with a big performance in a few weeks.
And just before I let you go, I'm going to have to ask you about Tony McLeod's goal. It was a weekend for random goals. Obviously the Crossmaglen goal that they got as well on the Friday night was a bit of a freak goal as well. But where were you when it happened? Did you think the ball was going?
Oh, look, obviously speaking to everyone today, and people from inside and outside the county, and people have commented, what was going on or what happened. Like, and look, it wasn't just the goalkeeper. Unfortunate that it went looking the ball to get the ball out quickly and get the kick out of the way. Like, it was the 29 or 28 other players on the pitch that turned around and ran out the field. I was on my way out getting ready to set up for a kick out, and next thing you hear the roar from the crowd. Like, but look, I don't have the words to describe. Like, Tony is Tony McLennan. Like, he's a god around Granemore, and I think the gods were with us yesterday, influencing the wind direction and then the ball dropping into his arms. So yeah, look, we were fortunate to get it, and look, that sort of changed the game. That made Cleavey had to come out then and chase the game then, and look, we caught them on the counter attack then towards the end. So I think the 7-point victory sort of, it wasn't a true reflection of the game. It was a lot tighter than that.
Jason, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, thank you.
So I'm joined by Crossmaglen captain Stephen Morris, and he'll be leading his team into the championship final on Sunday. Stephen, the 5th championship final in a row, obviously has lost the last 2. I'm sure there's a lot of hunger in the Crossmaglen changing room.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. The way we lost the last 2 especially, it was tough, so a lot of motivation going into this one now over the last 2 years, so good to get back at it.
And you were the captain last year, so you've been looking to rectify that as well.
Yeah, captain last year, so it was a tough one to take, but just weren't good enough in the day, so hopefully we try and rectify that this year.
It's probably a big final for yourself, because obviously the captain last year you missed out on 2020 through injury, so it'll be nice to get on the field again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it now. I think the next 2 weeks is going to drag.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just looking forward to it.
And you're coming in off the back of a really strong performance in the semi-final. That was probably your best performance of the year.
Yeah, probably, yeah. We needed it anyway against Mary. There's a couple of big battles then over the last couple of years, but no, we played well, we clicked well now, so it's good to get over.
And that first 15 minutes was really the goal. Obviously set you up well. It was a fortuitous goal, but you capitalised on it in the next 10 minutes after.
Yeah, probably the best start we've had to a game this last couple of years. As you said, the goal, it was obviously a bit lucky, whatever. It's nice to have that luck on your side and then kicked on from there. Like, so yeah, it was good to get over.
I think one of the most impressive things about it was whatever you scored on the shot, was it 1-7 or 1-8? The fact that Rian had only scored, I think he scored a free, and Cian McConville didn't score, so everybody else was chipping in really.
Yeah, everyone was chipping in. Yeah, it was a whole team effort. Like, there was Aaron getting up from the fence, kicking scores. boys pushing up on him, yeah. So as you said, Ryan and McCain were your two main scorers, didn't score, so everyone else they stood up for them for 15-20 minutes and made a macro in nearly, yeah.
I think the likes of Keane, Thomas O'Duffy, your own Fitzpatrick, you have a sort of a new breed of players coming through. Like Keane's still young, but he's been about 4 or 5 years at this stage.
Right a while, yeah. No, a lot of good young lads. Keane Finnegan there as well. The young fellas on the bench and all, so the 18s and all that crack. So it's he's been training there, pushing everyone on, and they mightn't feature every weekend, but they're pushing everyone on and making us a better team. Totally.
And for that Moray game, did you just feel because it was Moray, you sort of had to up your performance levels?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just we knew who we were playing, and over the last couple of years, we probably haven't played as well as we wanted against them, and they've got the better of us a couple of times. So just that wee bit of extra motivation to who it was, and semi-final and all. But yeah, it just came together nicely.
And I was asking you about the younger boys. You have an older boy in as well. He's not too bad now to square out, Jamie Clark.
He's not too bad. He's a bit of a help. Yeah.
He was class the last day against Moray. You know, we were saying on the podcast before the Moray game, the class is permanent. You know, he mightn't be as sharp as he used to be, but he's still a handful.
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah. It's great to have him back on the panel. Even his experience as well, as you said, he's not that young man anymore. But the way he played on the nation, the way he's getting better each and every week, even in training and all, so it's great to have him back and young fellas to look up to him.
And he's probably a boost given the fact that Ashley O'Neill's injured as well, which is unfortunate for him.
Ashley's a big miss for us as well, so sort of not cancel each other out, but it's good to have him back, you know. So.
Ryan O'Neill, obviously, I'll have to ask you about Ryan. He was probably more so out around the middle with you the last day than up in the full forward line where he'd been more used to.
Good thing with Ryan is he can sort of play him anywhere, like, you know, and he'll impact the game. But yeah, it's good to have a player like calibre with beside you, know, in your team, like, so good to have him, and he's playing rightly, so hopefully we can kick on over the next 2 weeks.
And obviously, Stephen, because you won on the Friday night, Granemore won on the Sunday, you would have been seeing them, but you've probably played them a couple of times during the league.
I played them twice in the league, yeah, they're a good outfit. I always had a tough out game against them, like, there was a good out challenge against them, you know, so definitely be a tough final.
Stephen, all the best, thanks for coming on.